Hello and welcome to the Field of 68 live stream. Austin Render joined by former Indiana great AJ Guyton. We're recapping the Indiana-Illinois game that we just saw go final. Illinois, the number 18 team of the country, knocked off Indiana 69-60. We'll let some people kind of join us here on our live stream. AJ, good to have you here. Merry Christmas to you. Hope the holiday festivities have been good for the Guyton family.
Hey, been great, man. It's a great time of the year, my favorite time of the year. You get a lot of basketball, you get a lot of college basketball, NBA basketball, and you get to stay at home from work and spend a lot of time with your family if you work in education. So it's an exciting time of year, brother.
Absolutely. I hope that you got to take in some basketball yesterday. We had some Big Ten basketball, some NBA basketball, and then today we took in a little bit of Indiana basketball. And it felt like I don't know. I'm going to let you try and sum it up here. What's your initial about 10 minutes after final buzzer takeaway here from Indiana's 9-point loss in Champaign?
Hey, man, it was a typical Indiana basketball fashion this year. Our Hoosier started off quick start. We had a great game plan early. We were attacking. We were moving the basketball and playing stellar defense. Of course, our defense always keeps us in the game. And as I'm watching, they're doing a great job at one of the highest scoring teams in the conference, keeping them from getting going and becoming explosive as they did late in the second half. And after a while, your defense begins to wear thin. People figure out a way to score. That's basketball. I'm always trying to figure out a way to crack that defense, crack the code, as I say. And I think we started to get a little excited offensively, but we lost our defensive focus. And the number one defensive focus is to limit the number one player on the other team. And we didn't do a very good job of that in the end. We lost Ayo for three different occasions that I can remember, maybe four from a 3-point line. He's a right hand driver. We allowed him to get to his right. Trayce Jackson-Davis being out with no rim protection made that easier. So it was just little things that began to miss layups and wide open shots. And on the road, that's just a recipe for disaster. So it was just some of the old things coming back to haunt us in the end.
Well, I feel like you have to see a little bit of AJ Guyton in Ayo Dosunmu and the way he plays, a little bit of yourself in him. He really put that Illini team on his back. Let's start with the good for Indiana in terms of they kept him quiet for maybe 30 minutes or so of this game. What was Indiana doing well, and what kind of broke down late in the game?
Well, I don't know what Indiana was doing well. As more was what Ayo was trying to do offensively. I think offensively, I'm looking at him. He was attempting to get his teammates more involved in the first half. There was a lot of plays, misdirection plays for Kofi Cockburn going into the post, and he was getting a lot of touches. They were doing high low because they knew they had an inside advantage against Illinois. So they were trying to execute those things and get other players involved. And definitely I can relate to Ayo as a leader and as a guy on the team. Once we see that that's not working, then you have to take things into your own hands, and I think that's what he ended up doing. So I think as much as what Indiana was doing against Ayo is what Ayo's game plan was. And once we allowed him to get those couple open shots, the brim opens up and that feeling starts to come back. And I think you saw the same thing for Armon at the other end, but unfortunately, it was Ayo doing it a lot more than Armaan, and from different ways. I think Bardo said it best: the kid can score at all three levels, and that's where we have Mr. Franklin has to get to.
Well, let's talk about Mr. Franklin. This was another career high for him. I believe he finished with 23 points for Armon Franklin, who continues to look better and better every game he plays in the cream and crimson. And all of a sudden, Indiana feels like it has a shooter here that they can design. They've got some elevator screens to get him open, some inbounds plays designed to get him the basketball. It's got to be nice to see a guy shooting with some confidence after it felt like the beginning of the year. Nobody was really looking to the basket to score.
Right, somebody had to. I think we talked about that on Twitter and with the Hoosier faithful all years. I know two guards have to step up, and finally we have one that's stepping up and really starting to get a groove and get straight up and down on his jump shot, follow through. Everything is looking fluid and confident for Armaan Franklin. He's able to now, but as with that, he also has to continue to expand his game. We also need. I saw a crucial turnover just handling the ball that I've seen, throughout the season. It has to be able to run. I said to turn. I would love to see him turn from a shooting guard to a combo guard, which was, with a combo guard, we can do so much more than just be able to run someone off screens and hope they get open. If they don't, they pass it back to you and we right where we started. You want to be able to get open. You don't have a shot. You want to be able to get by your defender and create and do more things for the team. And I think that's one phase of the game that, our guards is missing. And I think Christian Lander will be able to do it once he gets his confidence going. Rob Phinisee shows flashes of doing it. But at this moment, I'm looking for Armand to be able to be a better contributor, handling the basketball as well, taking care of it, making decisions with it, so Archie can trust him with the basketball. But nonetheless, he is doing his job. He's creating. He's making shots. He's making some timely shots. He's becoming a threat that the other team has to game plan for. And that's the point. I want to be able to game plan for you. There's just certain players that don't have to be game plan for. You can help off of. And Armon Franklin is quickly becoming one of those guys, that's going to have a white shirt in practice, running around saying they're Armon Franklin.
Interesting situation at the beginning of the game. Archie Miller changes the starting lineup. He benches Rob Phinisee in favor of the freshman Trey Galloway. You were tweeting a lot about Rob's game and what you want to see from him. Tell the Hoosier faithful and those watching and those listening, what is it that you see that Rob does well, and what is it that he needs to do more of?
I see a guy that has all the tools physically. I mean, I think he reminds me of Yogi Ferrell, size wise and athleticism wise, in a sense of that they have the ability to get things done. The only difference is Yogi played at a certain fierce level every single night. And Rob will pick a spot to where there's too much looking over at the bench. There's too much wondering what's going on. There's too much pausing when he could be attacking. When that ball comes back to Rob and late in the shot clock, it's not even necessarily let's wait on the ball screen. Let me use my God-given gifts to get in the lane and create for others. He has the ability to pass. He's sneaky athletic. He can finish at the rim. I think he's a good shooter and just not shooting with any confidence right now. He missed a huge three in the corner, wide open, that could have tied the basketball game and put a lot of pressure on Illinois. He missed it, and that was a great look. And then shortly after that, he was out and he wasn't in the game anymore. So, but and then that's my message to any college basketball player. You got there being special. That's how you got to Indiana. But you can't get to Indiana and fit in. You have to stand out. You have to get there and you have to produce. You have to put the ball in your hands and make plays. And that's what I don't see Rob doing on a consistent basis. But someone said, "Well, he's a junior." I said, "Yeah, he's a junior, but and it's not too late." But Archie's going to play the guys who produce. Coaches play guys who produce, and at the high level. And when you show flashes, but then you disappear, that's something the coach has to make a decision about, and definitely trust Coach Miller with his decision making. But no coach is going to sub a guy or keep a guy out the game who's producing. And I see that, potential. I remember people used to talk about how much potential Lamar Odom had until he was 40 years old. I was like, no, there's not potential anymore. So we gotta get something done. I think it's all mental with Rob. I really do. I'm looking at him, I'm looking at his body language, his face, and I'm wondering. He had a crucial mistake guarding Ayo. He dove for a ball that he wasn't gonna get. And he just left the gate open for Ayo to keep the rhythm going. You stay there, you stay in position defensively, you get your hands up. If he makes a shot over you, everybody in the Hoosier Nation live with that. But we left it open, and that was a huge mistake. Not it's a mistake for the game, but it was a mistake in that moment. So I still believe in Rob, man. If he's going to come off the bench, then he needs to be a Vinnie Johnson, microwave Johnson off the bench. Come in and provide a spark, provide energy. If you're going to come out anyway, you might as well just come out, go out with your guns blazing. The high risk, high reward type thing, man. But that's the type of potential I see in Rob to earn a starting spot that if he wants it.
You make me feel smart, AJ, when you say something that I was saying as well to my family as we're watching this game. Why did he dive?
Right,
He
yeah,
had him. He was backtracking with 2 on the shot clock. You had him in position,
yeah.
and he dove to the ground, did not get the ball, and Ayo buries the 3. House of Hoosier host AJ Guyton is with us here on the Field of 68 live stream. Obviously, there were some bright spots. There were some surges for Indiana, but again, they fall short. They're 0-2. They lose. That's 3 games in a row. They've been in this position: Florida State, Northwestern, and now Illinois. What's missing, AJ? What is missing from this Indiana team to get them over the hump?
Man, I absolutely love what we do offensively. I love. I'm sorry. I love what we do defensively. I love what we do defensively. But at the end of the day, this is not the 1980s. This is not the 70s. I mean, I tweeted that it's a grinded out game. Yes, it was a grinded out game. It turned into that because the two coaches are so well versed and well prepared. But at the end of the day, you have to score points to win. And 60 points is just not going to get it done in the Big Ten. It's not going to get it done in NCAAs or against anyone. You have to get up in the 70s and the 80s and sometimes the 90s to get wins. Is on the nights that your defense is not clicking, and there will be nights where defense is not clicking. Even as great as our defense was, one of the most crucial plays in the game was another IO three. Demonte Williams caught the ball on the right wing and penetrated. We left Ayo to show numbers to get him to kick it to Ayo. And I'm like, let Demonte Williams shoot that basketball. Stay home. And it ended up costing us another 3. So, but we just got to score points. As I talked about, we haven't seen since the first couple games of the season us getting out and getting easy baskets. Everything is a grind. I don't know who's running the sets for IU, but they're immaculate sets. You get some open shots. We miss a lot of open shots. A layup missed by Hunter, a 3 missed by Phinisee, another 3 missed by Durham, I believe. Got us down, but at the end of the day, we got to get some easy baskets. We got to guys like Phinisee, Durham, Lander. They got to get that ball off the backboard and push the tempo, and that's what we just don't have. We don't have a tempo right now. Per se, when it comes to getting that ball off our stops defensively and getting out and getting someone easy baskets. Galloway is a great lane runner. How many lanes did you see Galloway run streaking to the basket today? I didn't see any. I might have went to the bathroom and missed one,
I
but
don't think you missed any.
I didn't see any. Al Durham is a heck of a slasher. If he can get out or he can run all day and throw aheads, get to attack the baskets. How many did you see? I didn't see very many. Trayce Jackson-Davis is a great rim runner. He could get there, but how many did we see? It's almost like we're getting it and we're walking it up. And you need those 8 to 10 fast break points on the road. We need to get them, and I think that to me, those easy baskets is what's missing for our IU basketball team. We have to get easier baskets to make life easier on Trayce Jackson. Also, even though we have Phinisee and we have, I think Al Durham was kind of the primary ball handler today. We just not getting in the lane, creating anything special for anyone. We're not getting in there, getting drop offs for Jackson. I saw a great opportunity for Durham to kick to the right wing off of a great play that they drew up, and he took a contested 2, and Phinisee was wide open in the corner. I said, those are the rhythm shots that we don't get, that we try to take late in the game, and we end up missing because we haven't taken one in a while. And I think those two things, the transition points and just finding somebody to create for others, is what's missing in this team to get us to that 70 to 75 mark where our defense can help us win.
I think a lot of what you're saying goes to what Derek Anchor has put in the chat. He says, long scoring droughts, no leadership from the guards.
Right.
When something like that happens, it feels like almost every game Indiana goes 4, 5, 6 minutes, either without points, without a field goal. If that were to happen to you, what are you saying? Okay, get on my back. I'm gonna go score a basket, or what are you looking to? What was Bob Knight always saying to get you guys out of a scoring drought?
He say more movement, more screens, keep moving. Something's gonna happen. I'm not sitting here acting like that has never ever happened to me as a basketball player when we went on a scoring drought. But it's very minimal that that's happened. And what I would think about doing is finding an easy way to get a basket, trying to get a steal, trying to make a play defensively. Like we are very solid defensively, but we need to make plays defensively to get easy baskets. That's the easiest way to do it. And just getting the ball into the right hands. I saw Trayce Jackson-Davis getting the ball, rushing shots up today. I thought that was uncharacteristic, running floaters from the right and left side away from the basket. Those are, I call those shooting turnovers. And we have to have someone step up and get an easy basket for us. And it's not necessarily just a drawn up play from Coach Miller. It's making plays outside of the structure of the game, and we don't see that. I want to comment. I see a comment said Devontae Williams shoots 70%, and at the end of the day, I don't think Devontae Williams took a three, but 1 3 in the second half, and Ayo has 30. So you pick your poison, you win, you lose with whatever you choose. And I know if I'm playing and Morris Peterson is on the wing wide open, and some other guy is shot faking and trying to get in the lane, go to the lane. Good luck. And I'm gonna take away this three from the Big Ten Player of the Year. And that's those are the choices we have to make in basketball. But back to that question, I think that you have to as a leader, who are our leaders? I see somebody saying there's no leadership. I don't believe there's no leadership. I think there's some great kids, but it's somebody in those moments, those adverse moments that needs to step up and not be afraid of failing and trying to make the right play. And I wasn't afraid to miss. I mean, I shot some air balls. I missed. I would hear coach screaming at me, "God damn it, AJ!" But 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna make that play. I believe in myself, and once you gain the trust of the coach, you won't hear that anymore. And so I didn't hear that very often because I took great shots, as a player. But we have to be able to make score points off of other things other than our immaculate sets that are drawn up for us throughout the game. Whoever's drawing those things up are immaculate, but players have to make plays.
Also, Hoosier host AJ Guyton joins us here on the Field of 68 live stream. Before we go, AJ, it's a 0-2 start to the Big Ten season for Indiana. Penn State coming up midweek next week before the new year hits. Where does this Indiana team go from here? How do they try and turn things around?
Hey man, it's one game at a time. Tough opener. Northwestern, they've been priming to have success. They had a great game. They shot well. They played with energy and enthusiasm throughout. You lost that one. You have to create your own energy. I'm watching these games, and it's tough. Sometimes when you're in those down moments, you fade off of that the crowd. That crowd is not there. So you have to dig deep and stay together and figure that part out. But and also you go on the road to Illinois and you have a chance to win. At the end of the day, you're right there. But we got to score more than 60 points to win a basketball game. I don't know how we're playing to put that. So continue to work on the individual confidence of each player. I think Coach Miller will continue to. I saw Anthony Lill get a couple minutes tonight. I like to see that. And just Christian Lander got a couple minutes, took one chance. I didn't like his first shot, but because it was a bomb, and it's like, no, you're gonna get that anytime. But those guys have to get better, produce, and have confidence. They look scared to shoot the basketball. They look intimidated on that end of the floor. I don't see a big separation on the defensive end, but on the other end, I think Christian Lander can really end up helping his team tempo-wise shoot the ball. So we got to get some confidence in about 2 or 3 other players, particularly our guards. I think Hunter was a little bit off tonight. Jerome Hunter, the motor was a little low today. Went out slowly after some loose balls. We just got to get guys get with confidence going after it, not worried about failing. And I think you take it one game at a time. You play the next one. Don't put pressure on yourselves. A lot of 0-2 teams start out in Big Ten, end up winning Big Ten championships. There's a few of them. So, we always have hope in the end. So stay focused and continue to build your confidence as basketball players.
Well, thanks to everybody who dropped in the comments. Thanks to those who have watched us here live and whoever's watching us or listening to us on the recorded podcast or video versions. We'll try and do this more often, AJ. We'll try and pick your brain about some live Indiana basketball games. I mean, who better to have on here than one of the best shooters in Indiana basketball history on a team that honestly could use some shooters right now on this Indiana basketball team. They lose 69-60 to Illinois. They'll move on to Penn State on Wednesday. But AJ, thanks for joining us. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk soon.
talk soon, man. Go Hoosiers.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for listening. You can catch all of our episodes on the Field of 68 Media Network. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a great rest of your holiday weekend.
Happy holidays.